Hello, YNABers. My name is Jesse Meekham, and this is podcast number 493 for YNAB, where we teach you 4 rules to help you stop living paycheck to paycheck, get out of debt, and save more money. Today, let me get out my soapbox. Let me set it up. It's a tall one today, and I'm going to need a ladder to get up there. But this came across at YNAB. We have this personal finance Slack channel, and it's where we discuss personal finance because how could we not? So we just put up little things every once in a while, and sometimes it's questions like, "Hey, what do y'all think about this or that?" Sometimes it's lamenting, and we were lamenting an ad for an opportunity where when you're purchasing something for $12. You can just break it up into 6 easy monthly payments. And if you're looking for the late and great Mitch Hedberg, he has a killer little bit about installment plans. Anyway, Google it. It's worth Googling. So this idea, these businesses that are rolling out where they can kind of integrate in with different shopping cart providers, and they can say, hey, look, seller, we will get you more money by using this program, or we will increase your conversion rate because the person doesn't have to overcome the fact that they need to buy this thing for $50. They just need to come up with a way of spending $5 today and then 10 more payments or 11 payments or whatever. The interest rate on these things can be absolutely crazy. And it's just one more way of fulfilling my prophecy, that my prediction that I've said probably half a dozen times on this podcast. And it's the situation where every successful company eventually becomes a financing company. And the end. So eBay killed it back in the day when they all were first starting out, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, you can buy anything online. And then eBay comes up with, we also offer financing. PayPal did the same thing. PayPal was killing it with transfers back and forth, but how do they really make money? Financing. I was going to figure out how Venmo is going to make money because PayPal bought Venmo, but maybe they were just looking for lead gen into their lending. I don't know. You sell cars. If you ever looked at the financials for GM, take a gander. You'd be surprised how much of their money doesn't come from the cars, but comes from the financing of the sale of the cars. I could go on and on. So eventually, YNAB will need to figure out some way to grow that won't just be because you fantastic people, tell your friends and family, maybe a little too often, that they need a budget. And we'll have to figure out some way to grow. We'll be like, well, okay, I guess we'll start doing financing, for YNAB. No, I'm just kidding. But there's something to that. Every company becomes a financing company, and then that's how they really make their money. I don't know why that is. You're just chasing profits. And I don't mean that in any disparaging way. I think seeking profits is totally appropriate. But it's just to what cost for that end consumer? So you have this ad that's like, hey, double your conversion rate for shoppers by offering them these, little easy payments. And what is happening is now those big companies that were like anomalies like eBay, PayPal, and on and all these big these car companies or whatever, they're needing to grow, so they're like, we'll add financing options because there's so much money here to be had. But now the way that these financing little plugins are working, they're going to like mom and pop merchants, and they're saying, "Oh, you sell little widgets for $19? Oh my gosh, you should take this financing opportunity we have and pass that along to your consumer so that then they can, you're so successful that now you're becoming a financing company." Everybody's borrowing everything for everything, and it doesn't end well. And we know that because of all the stats. 80% of people are paycheck to paycheck. Some crazy amount that Jacob on one of our teams yesterday shared with the team. He was saying, I think it was 50%, 60% can't handle a $300 emergency. Now, I know I'm preaching to the choir here. If you're using YNAB, things are different for you, or they're going to be different. And sometimes people are truly in a bad spot, and it's not so black and white. It's not so cut and dry. It's not so clear. Like, okay, what is is this serving a purpose or not? But when you're sitting there trying to sell your product, and the vendor you're thinking about using this little plugin, they're saying to you, hey, you can double your sales if you just give people these installment plans. Well, then you became that furniture company that's always liquidating. It's always going out of business. They're always in a liquidation event. And I don't know. You made more sales. Maybe it's worth it. You're just sitting there comparing. But let me talk to you, dear consumer, that's looking at that afterpay thing. God, pay after? Here we are with Rule 2. We're trying to get people to pay before. We're trying to say, like, no, pretend that you're going to buy the couch. Now save up $30, 30 easy payments of, 30 or 10 easy payments of $30 for a $300 couch, as if those existed. I don't even know if they exist. You can't even buy one right now, probably. But pretend you could. And then you're saying, okay, I'm going to have 10 payments of $30 to get a $300 couch. Now you've become Afterpay or that little fancy plugin. You've become the financer. You're the one that's saying, oh, I'll lend you money. All you're doing is you're lending future you the money. You say, I'll give you $30 now, and next month I'll give you another $30. And so you're lending future you the money. You're just like, here you go, here you go, here you go. That's fine, because present you doesn't need it. And that's the thing with these financing companies, they don't need it. So that's why they don't need the money right now. They can be the future you. And they know that future you is going to be in a great position if future you is them. So you have to become them. Is that getting too meta for me as I walk through this? Possibly. But they're sitting there saying, oh, we don't need the money now. We'll defer our gratification. We'll defer getting payment for it right now. We won't take all $300 for the couch. Your furniture store. We won't take all $300. They're sitting there thinking about future them. And they're saying, well, we don't need it. So we'll just kick it down the road. We don't need it. We are in a stronger financial position. So we can take the upper hand here in this little transaction, and we can be the one that's thinking about the future and the one that's setting ourselves up to be riding the gravy train. And we can say, oh yeah, we'll be just sitting in the shade, financial shade, just sitting in there. Be like, this is great, because they're setting themselves up for the future, because they don't need the money now, but they're going to get the money later. And all I'm saying is, let's be that furniture store that's setting themselves up very nicely, and well, you're not. And maybe in that sense, we can say, you think about future you, and then you make the best decision now with that in mind. So then you're sitting in the shade, relaxed, calm as a summer's morning, because you saved up the money for the thing, and then it was made available, and you bought it with cash that you had in your wallet. And now you just think again about future you, and now you're the one that's savvy and smart. And it's not cool when the companies try and make you feel like you're being savvy, you're being smart, when all they're doing is profiting. And again, I do not mean that in a negative way, but they're profiting off of it. They're being savvy. You think they're not making money this way? They're making money off of you. So you make money off you by thinking about the future you. And then when you're following Rule 1 and you're just comparing, okay, should I do this? Should I do that? You're thinking about future you, current you, and sometimes you're like, yeah, I want that now, and so you do it. You roll with the punches, you adjust your plan. But you're thinking about you. And you're not lining the pockets of some company that grew so fast that they're like, oh my gosh, how else can we grow? Oh, I know how we can. Let's just set up our future selves to be sitting pretty at the expense of everyone else that currently and forevermore will remain stressed out, relationships strained, can't take an opportunity for a new job because they're living paycheck to paycheck. They're mad more. They don't sleep as well. Let's do all that because we want to keep our growth rate up. Again, to each his own. But I don't think you should do those installment plans. Until next time, follow YNAB's 4 rules, and you will win financially. You've never budgeted like this.